Are you ready to forget your manners? Huh? Are you ready to hypnotize a man into trying to murder children? Huh? Well then, let's go, because this is what we're going to talk about today. Let's go for it. Welcome back to Deep in Bear Country, a Berenstain Bearcast. I am your host, Phil Gonzalez, and I'm sorry about that intro. I'm very sorry about that introduction. That was unnecessary, unnecessarily aggressive. This week, we are covering Season 2, Episode 2 of the 1985 Berenstain Bears cartoon. And this episodes are based on a book and the basis of a book. But in a mad switcheroo, the episode that is based on a book is not teleplayed by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Instead, it is a Roby Gorin episode. And the episode in the episode that becomes the basis for a book later on is in fact teleplayed by Stan and Jan Berenstain. So this episodes are a break from tradition, and we get to see and witness and hear and enjoy what it's like when Stan and Jan just get to go full on, let's have a wacky adventure, as opposed to trying to teach us a lesson about manners, say, and more a lesson about don't hypnotize the man into murdering children thing. That's right, we are covering the Berenstain Bears Forget Their Manners and the Berenstain Bears and the Wicked Weasel Spell, which became the basis for the Berenstain Bears Scouts and the Evil Eye, a book that blew me away when I read it because I had never witnessed attempted murder of children in a Berenstain Bears book. Will it hold up? Like, will it be the same thing in the cartoon? I don't know. Let's find out. There was a lot of attempted violence on TV in the 1980s, so maybe this is the same thing. I mean, Winnie the Pooh had enemies in his 100 Acre Woods in his Saturday morning show, so who knows where this is going. I will see you all on the other side. Again, another wonderful episode recorded right off of a videotape. Some people might get annoyed that I have to cover the theme song in most of these episodes, but I don't mind. I don't mind. Because I never know what the subtitles are going to translate certain lines from the song as, and I find that friggity delightful. By this point, the subtitles seem to have learned the word Berenstain, which I appreciate personally. Split level tree. It knows what a split level tree is? Nuggets bugs is not a word, though. I don't know what. Never mind. Let's see. Okay. Factual. Big paw. Oh, factual fetual, which isn't a word. Hugo's tea honeybug is another wonderful thing that isn't a thing. Thank you, subtitles, for coming up with words that don't exist. Now, if you remember from the book, all the bears forget their manners, and then they turn Mama's lesson back on her, but then it gets turned back on them, I think is how it works. That's all I'm saying. All right. God, I gotta get a record of this music. Release an LP. Ooh, some kind of fete, some kind of celebrate. Some kind of awesome dancing. This is my scene.
Can I give you some punch, honey bear?
Sure. Punch.
Hey, can I have this dance?
Uh-oh. I think I know what episode this is.
I just want to show you some new steps.
Hell yeah. Oh, Too Tall with the moves. If you're very good, I'll talk about, or I'll attach the video I made of this episode to this episode.
Huh? Me? Oh, go soak your head.
Go piss up a rope.
Too tall. Careful. Hey.
I don't know what this has to do with anything, but it's awesome.
I don't like
Fists
the way this
will
party's
fly.
going. Who's that wearing the cap?
Oh, that's Too Tall. He and his gang crashed.
Well, he's very rude.
Children's
What's
birthday
more,
party.
His rudeness is catching.
Get out of here. Shut up.
But his dance moves are alluring.
Well, I think we better start bringing this party to a close. We'll get out the favors, and that'll be it. All right, everybody. Time to get your favors.
Oh, she's wonderful. Okay, now one at a time. Gimme.
So that must be Aunt Min. That must be Aunt Min. Uh-oh. Two tall grizzlies got those no manners.
My gang!
But I was first.
Not bad! Not bad at all!
Just what
Doesn't
I
Aunt Min
always
have any
wanted,
say in what
a
happens at this
mustache.
party?
Swell. An eraser. It was fun. You have the best parties, Freddy.
See ya.
Come on! Let's see if there's any action at the mall!
How rude. They didn't
You
even
can
stop to
throw
say
them
thank
out.
you.
It is your home. You were not invited.
Well-mannered. Brother and sister bear are always so polite.
Yes, they were also invited. You're the parent, Aunt Min. You have some say in who is in your house.
What's bugging them?
Man, they're in a bad mood. So we've added a little, like, impetus into their sudden bad manners. So in the book, the bad manners are something that's sort of evolved and has developed. Like, they've just sort of forgotten their manners.
Happy as can be in your home sweet nest.
Hey, you're stepping on my heels. It's your own fault.
Ah, sit and spin.
Problem is.
Hey, get out of my way. I was here first.
Up your nose with a rubber
I'm
hose.
shoving, you're pushing.
Oh. Oh.
Yuck.
Oh. You've resulted in the deaths of several chicks that are cubs. Man, everyone's in a bad mood.
Yum.
This is more like the Berenstain Bears
Hey, come on,
and
Buzzbrain.
someone else's rudeness has rubbed off on us.
Stop being such a noodle puss. You silly head. Lay off, you little ninny.
You see here?
What?
I need your help.
Yes,
I love
dear.
the language.
Give me that. I had it first. Stop grabbing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is literally the beginning of an episode of One to Grow
Oh,
On.
your manners. There's
I'm Michael
plenty
J.
of
Fox,
money
and
for
this is
everyone.
One to Grow On. Don't have bad manners. Let's take a look at them if they had good manners.
Ha ha.
Now they're just having a good time.
Look here. What's this rudeness? It's not like the bear family to forget its manners.
But Brother's the one who started being rude. Me? That's ridiculous.
I
We'll
think
have to
I
go
may
back to
have
the
a way
source.
to help you
If we
remember
kill
your
too
manners.
tall, they'll become
Papa,
polite again.
Cubs, would you handle the cleanup? I have something to do. I think that covers everything.
Mama, what are you drawing?
I'm not drawing. I've made a chart.
I
And
have
I'm
not the
calling
ability
it
to
the
draw.
Bear Family Politeness Plan. It seems to me the
Ah,
best way to
boy.
fight bad habits is with good habits. For
Or
example,
just like, it's one
if
day.
anyone
Maybe
forgets
it's
to
not
say
an
please
epidemic.
or
Maybe
thank
it's just
you,
something that
he or
will
she
be
has to
fine in the
slip 4
morning, Mama.
steps.
This isn't the
And
book.
pushing or shoving means you have to beat 2 rugs.
Beat
But
two
Mama,
bullies.
All those chores? You're not being
Means you have to
fair.
beat your
It seems
sister
to
in
me that
hand-to-hand
you're the ones
combat.
who aren't being fair. Manners help us to get along with each other. Why, without manners.
Your mama's absolutely right.
Thanks for your comment, Papa. But interrupting is number 6 on the rude list. And the penalty is dusting the room.
Okay, but I was backing you up,
You
as
didn't say
is
thank you
my
for dusting.
job as a
I'm afraid
husband.
That means when you're finished dusting,
I'm on your
the
side.
front steps.
Sucks.
Rude noises? What does that mean?
Oh, you know.
Penalty number 12.
Ugh.
I was
Garden.
demonstrating.
This is serious. If we're not careful, we'll end up doing all those chores too. Maybe we need a plan of our own. What do you mean? Well, instead of just being polite, why don't we be super polite? In fact, disgustingly overly polite. Yeah, we'll do so much pleasing and thanking that Mama won't be able to stand it. Right. She'll get so fed
Which
up,
is
she'll
rude
call
in
the
its
whole
own
thing
way.
After you, sister dear. Thank you, dear brother. The pleasure is mine.
Yeah, she's onto your game, like immediately.
Here she comes. Would you like me to help pick up your toys? How thoughtful.
I mean, if they're only doing it when they're within earshot of Mama. That doesn't even make any sense. That's not even a thing that would happen.
Phew. She's not here. We can stop being polite for a while. Great. I'm getting tired of... Oh, just a sec. Your bowl fell off. Here you go.
Your
Thanks,
bowl?
brother. You're welcome.
Sister's bowl?
Hey, we were being polite without thinking.
It is weird to see her without her
How
bow.
about that?
She may as well just be anybody at this
Thank
point.
you, sister.
How about that?
Politeness plan. Fooling.
Oh, I see.
My life miserable.
Because the kids' storyline is very difficult to dramatize because it's all kind of happens internally and over time. We're going to focus mostly on Papa's shenanigans.
Blasted politeness plan. How do you do?
Just shooting it.
Pardon me. The pleasure is mine.
Okay, like,
Politeness plan a thing or two.
Mama, your politeness, my God, it seems to have backfired. This is not what we want to see. Oh, this must be this is the Roby Gorin of
You
it all.
went off the deep end, Pop.
This is the,
I don't know what
when it
came
comes
over
to character
Thinking
writing,
it's
not
fresh
so
air.
much.
Why
A
don't
bunch
we go
of
for a
weird
drive?
gags, sure.
We're due for a trip to the supermarket anyway.
me. Oh, what a relief.
Oh, is this the one where he gets
Because
into
we're out
road
of the
rage
house,
incident? This
away
is
from
great.
that silly
What does
politeness
this have to do with Tootal's
Papa,
awesome dance
politeness
moves,
doesn't
though?
end at our front door. It's just as important to be courteous and have manners away from home, and especially on the road. Stop signs and crosswalks help us to be courteous by letting people cross safely.
I still say you're going overboard with this politeness junk. After all, you have to have common sense along with manners. Why, if you let everyone go ahead of you at the checkout, you'll be in line forever. And sometimes you have to interrupt.
It's an old family recipe. What I do is...
Excuse me, ma'am, but I believe you have a leaking bottle in your cart.
Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you for
Ah,
telling me.
geez, guess Papa's
Pleasure
dusting the
was mine.
shelves tonight.
I'd say that trip to the supermarket showed that there's more to life than manners. Besides, manners are all right.
I'd say that trip to the supermarket proved you're a wrong idiot.
Important things to think about.
Papa, look out!
Huh? Why, that pin-headed fiddle brain?
Papa, that's name calling.
You know what the penalty for that is.
The worst penalty of all. Cleaning our entire cellar.
Jesus Christ, really?
Nincompoop! Why, I ought to. You're absolutely right. It's my fault. Entirely nincompoopish. Is that
See, the
so?
subtitles know the word
I beg your
nincompoopish.
pardon.
That's not even a thing.
Actually, I should be begging your pardon. Huh? Yeah, I was the one who stopped short. It was because of them.
Aw. Make way for ducklings, everyone. Berenstain Bears and the Ducklings, anyone?
I say no harm, no fuss. We'll forget the whole thing.
As soon as I call my insurance company, and you pay for a new bumper.
I mean, running into, ta-ta.
Papa, I'm so proud of you.
Nothing to it. Indeed, it just goes to prove the importance of being polite and courteous at all times.
And kowtowing to a
I cordially
large
thank
man.
you for reminding me to remember my
What
manners.
happened to Tootal with his dancing?
Welcome, I'm sure.
What did that have to do with anything? Oh, Wicked Weasel spell. Let's see where this goes. I hope there's some attempted murder of children. I wonder if Gramps and Gran are going to be in this. They're fairly prominent in the book.
I got it! Great catch! Okay, sister, your turn! Here goes!
The animation style is completely
Hey,
different.
you
This is
didn't
wild.
even try for it. What's the matter, sister? I don't know. What do you mean? Well, I sort of got the Weasleys. Weasleys? What's Weasleys? It's kind of
There's a
funny
cream for
feeling
that.
inside me. You know what I think it is? I'm nervous about the weasels. Why? The weasels haven't caused trouble in a long time. That's the problem. In fact,
Remember when you
whenever
just let
us
Too
weasels
Tall
agree
run
as
roughshod
head
over you
weasels
at your
are
birthday
extra
party?
Quiet, we bears should be extra watchful. Sister's right. Maybe we can get the bears in bear country to keep their eyes peeled for signs of weasel activity. Grown-ups aren't gonna listen to us. They might listen to another.
I don't know what that was all about. We're in the middle of a conversation.
Papa!
Cubs, hear that humming? It's all those busy bees filling their honeycombs with oodles of yummy honey.
Papa, we've got a real
Where's Busy
problem.
Bee?
Can you?
You know,
Where's
the
Busy
mere
Bee?
anticipation of honey is
I've got the
This isn't a bee, this is a fish.
Weasleys.
We got the Weasleys too. See, it's a feeling in the pit of our
It's like
stomachs.
subtle,
We're worried the weasels might be up to some more of
decades
their rotten
early
Well, that's all very
JKR
well for Cubs to have
publicity.
Weasleys. But grown-up bears aren't
Not
subject
comfortable
to
with
such
all the talk of
childish
Weasleys.
fantasies.
tricks. But Papa,
Now, I
Oh,
fixed
that's
those
right.
weasels good last
Okay,
time.
so
No doubt they've
in the
packed their
books,
bags and
only
left
Grizzly
bear country
Gramps
forever.
and Gran believe in the
Music to my
weasels?
ears.
Something like that.
I could
Does Papa
listen to
believe in the
that
weasels in the
humming
books? I
all
can't recall.
afternoon.
come on, we'll have to find some other grown-up. Right, but who?
An intelligent one. One with some sort of like sense of importance of values of anything.
I love to sing, sing-a-ling, and play a tune on my danzo string. Scrum,
Danzo
scrum,
scrum.
clang a tune on my danzo string.
Sure, a lot of mosquitoes around here. Yeah, they're really pesky this time of year.
You come to hear Big Boss sing?
Well, we always like to hear you sing. That's for sure. But we also want you to help us watch out for weasels.
I love to sing, sing,
He's not listening, kids. He has no idea what you're saying.
Weasels.
Guess all Big Paws interested in is his singing. We gotta go. Bye, Big Paw. Bye.
Bye. I love to sing, sing-a-ling, and
Since the grown-ups won't do anything, it's up to us cubs. I know.
That's like the
Let's keep
that's
a
like the
lookout for
thesis of
Rabbit
the
Shark.
entire
He's always mixed
novel
up with those
series.
weasels. Great idea. Let's find him and see if he does anything suspicious.
Okay. So they're looking for Ralph this time.
Have new rotten plan to take over Bear Country. Stop. Call me from the secret tree. Stop. Immediately. Stop. Aim agreed. P.S. Eat this message. Oh.
There he goes.
Hi.
What's he doing? Looks like he's talking to that tree. Boy, that's really weird.
Chief, it's me, Ralph.
Like George
I
III.
got your message.
What are those things that kings talk to? What are those things that people talk to? Like George III? Kings? No, trees. I can't remember what that's from.
I'm honored to be invited down to your underground retreat, Archweasel, but I don't know where the secret entrance is.
I don't
located.
understand their relationship. I don't understand their friendship. Does Ralph get paid? I don't get it. Is he simply afraid of Weasel McGreed? Are there weasels in other cities in Bear World?
No chit-chat. Now follow me.
Where'd he go? He disappeared. Well,
Had
we
Stan and
wanted
Jan
to see
Berenstain
if
ever
he'd do
seen a
something
weasel? Do they know what they
suspicious.
look like? Because they don't look like
What
that.
could be more suspicious than disappearing? We better tell Papa about this.
Relax, Cubs. There's nothing to be alarmed about.
But Papa,
There's nothing suspicious about Ralph disappearing. In fact, it's typical of him. At least you got your minds
One
on
of these
those
days, he's
weasels.
just gonna die,
We're
and
worried
we'll
about them
never
more than
hear
ever.
from him again.
Forget about them. I guarantee
The
that
swamp
McGreed
will
has
take him.
schemed his last scheme. Now that he knows he'd have to deal with yours truly, he's given up forever any idea of taking over Bear Country.
The fact that there was a human interested in taking over Bear Country, or a person in the first place, and by the way, love the fact that we get this overhead shot of a map of Bear Town.
We need his muscle.
impossible.
Is that canon?
And I have a way to get the biggest muscle of all, Big Paw, to drive the bears out of bear country. Then everything will be mine, lock, stock, and honey pot.
You'll never turn Big Paw against the bears. He loves them, especially
He's
the cubs.
literally a bear.
Foolproof, you fool! Look at this.
Trances, the secrets of hypnotism.
Look into my whammy weasel eyes, you blithering buffoon.
Not happy with that. Not happy with seeing that. No thank you for that.
No, I'm not.
So what was the secret? What are the secrets of
Leave me under
hypnotism?
my spell. You will obey my every command. All right, you are now a bird of the feather, nature's alarm clock.
Just say rooster. You don't have to talk in like rhymes or riddles to a person who's hypnotized. You just talk normally.
Oh, you're not a rooster past it all. I command you to be a dog, a canine man's best friend. That's better. Whoops. Get back. Back. Get back from me. Stop it. You're not a dog. You're a bat. A bat.
Just sort of padding the runtime here.
You can wake up now. So what's to stop me from bringing Big Paw over to our side? I made you think you were a bat, didn't I?
Me? A bat? Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah? Then why are you hanging from the ceiling? Catching flies?
Me hanging...
Haha.
I
Didn't
think
see
you
that one
just
coming.
may be onto something.
Look,
So this is essentially what happens in the book.
Look deep,
There's a
deep
bit
into
more
my
Ralph up
eyes.
front.
You cannot resist my
There's a lot,
hypnotic
well, we'll get into it in the
powers.
discussion, but there's a reason this kind of plot works better as a Saturday morning cartoon.
Ralph's fooling around with hypnosis. I've been reading about that kind of stuff. It's pretty interesting.
It sure is interesting. I bet
It
the
sure
Weasel
is
School has
something.
something to do with hypnotism.
This is getting real serious. We better keep after Ralph.
And so, Big Paw, my friend.
And so we're right
I
here
want
all
you
of a
to
sudden.
meet Enrico Weasel, the famous vocal coach.
Again,
Yeah, he's come
the
to help
subtitles
you
know how to
just
write Enrico Weasel.
Big Paw singing.
Oh, we love your singing, but Enrico can help you sing even better. But first, he must inspect your throat.
Turn your head a little up.
There's something just absolutely delightful about that
They're
animation.
heading
Like
towards Big Paws. Let's go.
it has a few more frames or something, and it works really well. Just the way Weasel's head moves into the camera. I kind of like it.
Mosquito swatter.
Big Paw destroy mosquitoes. Mosquitoes bad.
That's right. Look at these bad mosquitoes. These big mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Okay, so
Big
this
Paw
time
hates mosquitoes, especially big mosquitoes.
they're just trying to get Big Paw to murder just the bears in general. In the book, it's just the cubs, so this is a little...
Mosquitoes.
They've hypnotized poor Big Paw, and he thinks we're mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes make Big Paw itch. Big Paw swat all big bad mosquitoes.
I just remembered something I read about hypnotism. Maybe it'll save us. Quick! What is it? Hypnotism is powerful, but not powerful enough to make someone go against his conscience, his inner nature.
Yeah, but what's Big Paw's inner nature?
Big Paw loves cubs, and he loves to sing. Come on! We love to sing, sing-a-ling.
It's that terrible song you wrote.
You not big mosquitoes? You my little friends.
Oh yeah, do that dance. We're getting some great dance moves in this episode. Push them off the cliff. Push them off the cliff.
I guess Big Paw didn't like their singing.
The end. I guess that's it. Thanks, Buzz. Someone's last name was Von Critters, which is great for a TV show about critters. You know I have to wait until we get to the lightning. The lightning's the best part. If nothing else, it's the lightning. We watch it for the lightning. Here we go. That's amazing. And we're back. Let me just take these headphones off. And we're back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about them episodes. Let's talk about them oopisodes. The Berenstain Bears forget their manners. The Berenstain Bears and the Wicked Weasel Spell, which was adapted into the Berenstain Bears Scouts and the Evil Eye. So where are we with this? What are we doing here? What are we looking at? Berenstain Bears forget their manners is essentially the same as the book, but with a bizarre prologue. So in the book is easy. The Berenstain, the Cubs and Papa have become increasingly rude over time. Just forgetting their manners, forgetting to say please and thank you, calling each other names, pushing and shoving their way through doorways. Just they're becoming sort of bratty kids, and Papa's no better. He just sort of like lounges about at the table. He's just not a polite bear. And this is not something that's happened all of a sudden. It's just something that's gradually started to happen. So Mama gets the idea in her head to create a chore chart, essentially, but it's a politeness chart connected to chores. So it's a list of rude behaviors, and if you commit any of them, you have to do a chore, from dusting to cleaning the entire cellar. So brother and sister get it in their heads that they're not only going to do what Mama says, because they hate the idea of having to do these chores so much, they're going to be so polite that it's going to infuriate Mama to the degree that she forgets the whole thing. Unfortunately for the Cubs, or fortunately for the Cubs, I don't really know which, the very act of pretending to be polite renders them actually polite. The Cubs succumb to their own trickery and just sort of naturally become polite. Papa Bear, though, still not working on him. He hates the idea of politeness. They go to the grocery store, and there's a nice exchange where Papa demonstrates that sometimes you have to interrupt people. Sometimes you can't let everybody ahead of you in line because you'd never get anywhere. If you don't interrupt people, like in the case of, say, an emergency, when someone's honey jar breaks in their grocery trolley, then that's not cool either. So he interrupts the conversation to tell someone that they have a leaking grocery. So he's like, this, you can't be too polite because otherwise the world will fall apart. He then rear ends someone in his car and calls them terrible names, which Mama is like, Papa, with your names? But the bear who gets out of the car is this huge, aggressive bear, and Papa is very polite and defers to the man's largeness. And the man's like, no harm, no foul. I stopped short anyway, and drives off. And then Papa's like, as you see, politeness is always the way to be. And then that's just the end of it. It's exactly the same story in the episode, with a couple of minor exceptions. One, brother and sister develop their natural politeness pretty quickly after the beginning of their attempted hornswoggling of Mama by turning her own project against her. So we actually end up spending a little bit more time with Papa and his shenanigans than we do with the Cubs learning any kind of lesson from him. And the reason that they get over it so quickly and develop their good manners again is because of the beginning of the episode. The entire beginning of the episode is taken up by something that's not in the books. It's a birthday party at Cousin Fred's. We have Cousin Fred, we have a bunch of other Cubs, including one named Honey Bear. We have Aunt Min, and we have Too Tall Grizzly. And this is cartoon Too Tall Grizzly, who's far more obnoxious and aggressive than book Too Tall Grizzly. And this sort of little psychodrama plays out where Too Tall's trying to impress a girl at the party by dancing. And he does this extended dance sequence with like all these like bizarre dance moves. And he bumps into another Cub, he bumps into brother, who bumps into another Cub, causing him to spill his drink. Too Tall's really rude. He's like, watch it, get out of my way. And he's so infuriating that it puts brother in a bad mood. And brother picks up on Too Tall's rudeness. Too Tall then like steals all the party favors, leaving only fake mustaches, which also further infuriates brother and sister. They become very rude. They're rude to Cousin Fred. They storm out of the party. It's a good lengthy sequence, and a lot happens. Aunt Min never tells Too Tall to leave, which is wild, even though he's being very destructive and he wasn't invited, and he and his gang like crash the party. But also it shows sort of this triggering incident, this inciting incident that causes brother and sister to become rude that day. In fact, it's weird because if Mama had simply waited it out, I am sure by that evening, brother and sister would have been fine. Now, in the book, of course, it says that, like, over time, brother and sister have sort of forgotten their manners and have become ruder and ruder. But this is an immediate thing. This is a direct response to a bad party with bad guests and being treated unfairly and rudely for an extended period of time. And then seeing your host and your host's mother refuse to do anything about it. Like, I can see where that would put anyone in a bit of a foul mood. And if Mama had simply said, "What's wrong? What happened?" and the Cubs had explained, then it'd been like, you know what? Why don't you guys just go to your room for a while? Come out when dinner is ready. Just, you guys need to decompress. It's a completely different setup. So there was really no point in Mama doing the rudeness chart. And also, of course, brother and sister are going to find their politeness again because it wasn't an ongoing thing. It was this sort of acute moment that triggered a negative response. Everyone's allowed to have bad days. And that's what this episode sort of seems to be saying, like, man, if anything puts you in a bad mood, you better not express it, or else you're going to be chained to a chore chart. Papa actually has this whole entire, like, daydream, this fantasy about, like, attacking the chore chart with this fury in his eyes, like tearing it to pieces. And he actually loses control of his body and goes to attack it as we pull back. Like, there's a lot going on with this rudeness chart. So this is one of those cases, and it might be because it's not a Stan and Jan teleplay. Roby Gorin wrote it, and it lacks that, like, character feel. The whole beginning with Too Tall and the stuff with Papa wanting to destroy the chore chart, it's kind of out of left field and doesn't really feel like the rest of the book. And it also undermines the point of the book, which is that manners are something that you have to practice, or you'll lose them. And this is just a case of Too Tall put the kids in a bad mood for a day, and then Papa rear-ended another guy and almost got beat up for his troubles. So, yeah, not the best translation of a story into animation. But what's weird is the next episode, the Berenstain Bears, the wild weasel spell, the wicked weasel spell, formed the basis for the Berenstain Bear Cubs and the Evil Eye, is a great example of why sometimes things should stay animated and not be stretched out into a book length. So this one is, the episode is about the Cubs are worried. The sister has this weird feeling. She has what she calls the Weasleys, which is hilarious. She has the Weasleys, and the other Cubs feel it too. Papa feels it too, which is the sense that the Weasels have been quiet for a while. They haven't tried anything, and that has them all worried because it usually means something is afoot. And since Raffish Ralph is usually tied in with what the Weasels are doing, the Cubs decide to go spy on him to see if they can figure it out. Now, as they spy on him, Ralph gets a message in a bottle that somehow gets dropped on his head saying to go to the old tree that he uses to talk to the Weasels. They've got a job for him. He goes to the tree. The Cubs witness this. He goes down into the Weasel's lair, and they discovers that Weasel McGreed wants to get the bears out of bear country. And his plan to do so is to use the power of hypnosis, which he's learned from a book, to hypnotize something and make something happen. And he demonstrates this by hypnotizing Ralph in a lengthy sequence where Ralph believes he's a dog, and then a bird, and then a bat, and he hangs from the ceiling and he falls. It's very funny. But they figure out that they're like, wait a minute. We know that Big Paw lives up on the top of Mount Grizzly. We've met him earlier in the episode. Big Paw loves to sing, and he hates mosquitoes. It's mosquito season in bear country. So the idea is we're going to hypnotize Big Paw into thinking that all the bears in bear country, or Bear Town, are mosquitoes. And then he will kill them, I guess, or at least chase them off. Even though he is simply just one very large bear. And we know that the bears have weapons because we've seen this bear civil war, like the bear war. We know that guns exist in this world. They could probably defend themselves. However, they go up to the top of Mount Crumpet or whatever, and with under the guise, Weasel McGreed is pretending to be a music producer, which is hilarious because they already did this last season. They tricked Big Paw into thinking that Weasel McGreed was a big-time music producer. You think he would recognize him at this point, but he doesn't. So Weasel McGreed is like, first I got to check your throat. We want to record you singing. I'm going to train you to be a better singer or something. We're going to check your throat. When he leans in to check Big Paw's throat, he turns on his wicked weasel eyes, and he hypnotizes Big Paw. They show them a bunch of random bears in Beartown, including a photo of the Cubs, which I don't know how Rafish Ralph got his hands on it. It's kind of a weird thing to think about. Shows them, they're like, these are mosquitoes. You got to go swat these mosquitoes. And the Cubs are like, oh no, and Big Paw starts chasing them. And then Brother's like, wait a minute, I remember something I heard about hypnotism once. A hypnotized person will never go against their own moral compass. We just got to figure out a way to like remind Big Paw of what reality is. So they start singing a song. They're like, there's two things Big Paw loves, Cubs and music. So they start singing Big Paw's song back at him about how he loves to sing and pluck his banjo string, but it's about how much they love Big Paw. We love it when Big Paw sings. We love Big Paw singing. This snaps Big Paw out of it. He turns on Weasel McGreed and Rafish Ralph, who attempt to sing back at him as well, which actually is pretty funny. And he chases them off, and the Cubs are like, we love you, Big Paw, and he loves them. And that's basically it. We get a brief chase by Big Paw going after the Cubs because he's been hypnotized into thinking they're mosquitoes, and they're like, we're not mosquitoes. And that's your story. Now, if you recall, this was expanded into the Berenstain Bear Scouts and the Evil Eye, which is a weird book because it follows the same essential plot. It just pads it out a lot with character development, which unfortunately makes the story very weird because it begins with Rafish Ralph giving up his life of crime because he can't think of any good swindles to do. And actually like confiding, the Cubs see him coming and he's like, I don't have anything going on. And they actually talk to him for a while. They're like, what's wrong, Ralph? And he's like, I don't have any swindles. Like nothing excites me anymore. I'm not down for swindling. And they're like, poor Ralph. And then he goes to his houseboat and there's actually a dagger stuck in the wall with the letter on it. Like, come meet me. I got a plan. The reason this is weird is because it establishes a rapport between Ralph and the Cubs that doesn't exist in the TV series. And I remember when I read these books, I was like, I think Ralph has a weird affection for the Cubs, like because they have an ongoing relationship. They know each other. They are familiar with each other. Yes, his plots are always foiled by the Cubs, but he still is a bear in Beartown and they are still children. And that's why what happens in the book is so strange because the hypnotism plot more or less happens the same way. The Cubs confer with Grizzly Gramps and Gran about what Ralph might be up to, but they still come up with the idea to hypnotize Big Paw into swatting mosquitoes and thinking that the bears are mosquitoes. However, Ralph sees this as an opportunity to get the Bear Scouts out of his hair. So they only show Big Paw a picture of the Bear Scouts, this large cutout they have of the Bear Scouts, which again, don't know how they got that cutout, which means that Ralph's plan isn't let's chase all the bears out of Beartown. Ralph's plan is let's just kill these children. I just want to murder these children. I want to kill these children, but I don't want to do it myself, even though I honestly could. I'm a grown bear who's used to violence. I could take these children out. Don't want to muddy my own hands. Don't want to dirty my hands. We'll get this kind innocent to do it by hypnotizing him. And they do. And it basically plays out the same way, except in the book, it's simply the power of love. The kids are like, we love you. And they're like, that's right. Only the power of love can break the spell of the evil eye, which is what they call it they don't just call it hypnotism. They call it the evil eye in the book. But this was one of those books, one of those episodes that translating Saturday morning action into 100-some page novel really shows you the cracks in those plots, in those characters, because these episodes are 10 minutes long. They move by so quickly. You don't have time to dwell on the fact that Big Paw could have killed those kids. That's not the point. The point is that he was hypnotized and there's a funny resolution. But when it's written out in text and they expand upon the action and they build out the characters, it seems really gross and sinister. And I felt weird having read the book and having gone through it again before this episode just to refresh my memory. I was like, oh yeah, this is that book. This is the book where they almost get killed by their friend, who had no idea what he was doing. So that's the difference. So in the odd twist, the storybook episode in this episode's episode, not as strong because it did contain some weirdness, like at the beginning. It overlong, lost its point. The action adventure Saturday morning episode, better than the book that came after it because it didn't overstay its welcome. And it didn't make you think too much about the fact that this large, simple man who lived up at the top of Mount Grizzly almost killed the only people in town who were kind to him. These 3 children. This man who only wants to sing and make people happy. Almost broke the necks, I guess, is how he would have killed them. Smashed them repeatedly with his guitar is how he would have killed them. Thrown them off the cliff is how he would have killed them. Who knows? We don't know how Big Paw would have killed them because we never got to see it happen. But you got to see it happen or listen to me talk about how it happened. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being a big part of this. If you're watching along at home, thank you so much for watching. If you were watching on YouTube, I hate to be one of those people, but if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. If you don't watch this on YouTube, but you just listen to it, still go like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. You can ignore them, but just like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It'll really help me out to get a few more eyes on these. I'm happy as a clam, I guess. I'm a happy clam. I'm the happiest clam. That's it. Thank you so much, and I will see you all next time. Deep in